Hey everybody, this video is, Shelly's not going to be in this video. She is actually on vacation in Cancun with her mother, having a great time this week. I am home working, like usual. But Shelly and I have both talked about this, and there are some things that everybody doesn't know about me. And we kind of figured, you know, at first it was basically we just wanted you guys to get to know us. And then, you know, I kind of had some issues with that, you know, like later on, and I wanted to kind of tell everybody, you know, some of the things that I've had to go through and some people in my life. So we talked about it and everything, you know, we both agreed with it. So I'm going to tell you all some things. So first off, I am 44. Ta-da, believe it or not. She won't tell her age. She won't say nothing about her age, which she doesn't have to. But I was married a long time ago when I was 21 years old. Just young and dumb, you know. When I met my ex-wife, she already had 2 children. And then we had a child. I have a daughter. She's 22 years old. Apple of my eye. I love that little girl to death. And I have 2 stepdaughters, which are always going to be my little girls. So I'm going to try not to make this real long, even though Shelly's probably laughing at me right now editing this. But got married. Everything was pretty good. Had my daughter, and I'd say about 2 years later, my ex-wife, she packed her bags one day and she left. She just, I thought she was going to head over to her mom's house, because she would do that every once in a while, because I worked 2 jobs and she stayed home with the kids, kept an eye on the kids, because it cost too much for daycare. And every once in a while she'd go over to her mom's house for the weekend, just kind of get away from the kids. And I would take the kids for the night or 2 and, you know, just kind of give her a little refresher, just kind of get back on her feet. And I noticed she was taking a little bit more than usual. Wind up taking her over, dropped her off, and I'd say the next day I called her mom up and asked her, you know, can I talk to her? And she said she's not here. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, all right. She told her to call me back. She was like, she didn't, you know, she left a couple hours after you dropped her off. Somebody came by and picked her up. She hasn't come back. And so I was a little concerned about it. Called some places, and back then we didn't have cell phones. You had beepers and house phones and pay phones. So it was harder to get a hold of somebody. Called fire, I called the hospitals and the police stations, everything, just trying to find her. And then she popped up a couple weeks later and told me she didn't want to be married no more, and she didn't want to be a mom no more, and hung up the phone. And I had 3 girls and by myself, and it was like that for a couple years. So I had 3 girls. I'd never been a parent before, so you know, I had 3 kids to raise by myself. And she just, like I said, she just rolled. And I'd say maybe about 3 or 4 years later, she kind of popped up out of nowhere, started calling, wanting to see the kids. And by this time, she had gotten into a lot of bad stuff, some drugs, and just, she was in a bad situation. I'm not going to get real involved with her situation, but you know, I couldn't allow her to keep the kids. It was just, it was a dangerous situation. So, you know, the thing is I had full custody of my daughter as soon as she left. I got the papers made up, went down to the courthouse and got full custody. I didn't have full custody of my stepdaughters though. So she came in, she would take them, she'd drop them back off, and then take them, drop them back off, and then last time she took them, I said, I'm not taking them back until you give me full custody. Long story short, she said, go ahead and get the paper signed, made up, and I'll sign them. So she signed over custody of my one stepdaughter to me. My other stepdaughter went to her parents, not her parents, but her grandparents and her side of the family, and that's where she stayed. You know, she would come over and see us on the weekends. So I had my stepdaughter and my daughter, and I raised them from then on out. So I had my daughter since she was 2, and my stepdaughter full-time since she was probably 6, and my other stepdaughter for only about 4 years. But yeah, it was difficult, to say the least. Little girls are something else. They were awesome growing up until you hit teenage years, and then they were just, whew, I had to get my mother involved because I didn't understand what was going on. It's been something else. They're much older now. Like I said, my daughter's 22. She just turned 22 back in August. She just moved out to the West Coast with her boyfriend, and they have a bunch of 2 other couples that actually lived here in Maryland that they grew up with, they went to school with, and they're very good friends, very good kids, good principles, good mindset, no drugs, no alcohol, no smoke, they're just good, well-rounded, kids, well, adults now. And they had moved out west, and I'm not going to say exactly where, but they moved out there, and my daughter and her boyfriend, they've been dating at least 3 years. They've been together almost as long as Shelly and I have. And they worked 2 jobs and saved up for a couple years, and they got enough money together and jumped in the car and took off. So it's hard not having them around. But it's okay. She's got to go and, explore life, you got to do it. But I have my other daughter, my stepdaughter, she's around, and she has 3 kids. She's 25, 26, 25, yeah, 25. She's got 3 kids, and that's my grandkids, believe it or not. I know it's hard for me to say, it's hard. But they are something else. They are so much fun. They are so funny. Let me see, it's 5, 3, and just about turned 2. 5, 3, and just about. They are something else, and we want to start recording them and showing you them. It's 2 boys and a girl. The little girl is, oh my God, she's got so much personality. She's going to make you guys laugh so hard. So, but I didn't want to get really involved in everything when it came to too personal. But it was hard being a single parent for all them years. Trust me, I understand when you have women sit there and say, I'm a single parent. I know it was hard because, and that's another thing. When it came to meeting girls, it was very hard because the first 4 years I didn't date at all. When I had the kids, when I had my girls, and that sounds crazy, but I didn't go out on a date. I didn't do none for 4 years. Because for one thing, I was so involved with the kids and the work. I was just working, and that's all I could think of is work, take care of the kids, work, take care of the kids. And then when you try to talk to a girl and you sit there and say, yeah, I got 3 kids and I'm a single parent, and they're going, huh? I don't want to have nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of girls I would meet, they wouldn't have no kids at all. And they're not going to get involved with a man that's got 3. So, you know, it was real hard. And eventually, after a while, when the kids started getting older, it was a little easier because they weren't babies no more. You know, a lot of people, they look at it as, oh my God, I'm going to have to be dealing with a child. And it wasn't that way. It was more of, they're getting older and they could see they're getting in there closer to teenage years, and they were a little bit more fun to deal with. You know, women that I would date, and you know, they would take them shopping, and it was nice because I needed that woman figure around them. You know, even even if it was, I wouldn't bring every girl around, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't just bring any girl that came around. Like if I started dating somebody for a week or 2 or a month or 2, I wouldn't just go, hey, you want to meet my kids? You know, it wouldn't be one of those. It would be more, you know, if I was 4 to 6 months in, then I would they might see her, or they might, I might introduce them because she came to the house, you know, or something like that, but it wouldn't be like, oh, you get to talk to my kids and hang around with them. It wasn't like that. So, and as I was saying about, you know, with the kids and all that, my parents and my family were extremely supportive, and they helped me out so much when it came to those kids. I'm telling you, I mean, I'm not saying I couldn't have done it without them, but it was so much easier. They helped out so much. I mean, when it came to keeping an eye on them and watching them and just everything in general, just, you know, it's, I tell you, I'm, you know, you always sit there and say, oh, I couldn't do it without them. You always find a way. There's no such thing as you can't do something without somebody. You'll find a way to do it. But I tell you, they made it so much easier than what it could have been. So I really, I thank them to this day for helping me out with that. And, you know, I come from good stock. That's where they come from, good stock. So. And the thing is with Shelly, the kids love her. My daughters love Shelly. I mean, they really like her. I mean, really, really like her. And I mean, it's funny because our very first date we were on, and I didn't set this up. My daughter, well, we went to Double T Diner. It has that kind of 50s or 60s type of feel. We wound up going there to eat, and 15-20 minutes into us at the restaurant, my daughter comes walking right in with some boy that she was dating at the time, and those two walk in and, hey, how you doing? She came over to the table, and I'm here introducing her to my daughter to her at our very first date, you know. And it was funny because she walked away and she turned around like you know, just gave me that. So it was cool. It was funny how it just, and we didn't set it up that way. But you know, just get back to, you know, it's been a struggle when it comes to things, when it, you know, raising the girls. I mean, I think I've done a pretty good job. You know, I mean, I was brought up a certain way, you know, hard work, hard work, not to be lazy, you know, try to be smart with your money, and making sure that, you know, they know that God's first. And they've pretty much, you know, I mean, you know, they're still young, but they've pretty much gone that direction, you know. So I mean, they've slipped off a couple times and done some stupid, goofy things, but you know, who hasn't? My God, I'm not going to tell you all the stuff I've done. Ooh. But I will tell you about some stuff in my past. I used to play drums for a rock band. back in the 80s, well, 87, 88, 89. I used to play in the clubs, and if I can find some pictures, I'll show you next time. I used to have real long hair, believe it or not. Real long, I mean like down to here, long blonde hair. Used to play drums. I played drums for a long time. Love them. I haven't played drums in a long time. But there's a place called Ocean City, Maryland, that we go to every once in a while. And they have on the boardwalk, they have, on the arcade area, they have an electronic drum set with real cymbals and everything. And you put in your money, and you can, you figure out what song. And it's like these giant speakers, and they are blaring the music, and you just play along. And when I go down there, I'll get on the drum set and I'll play a couple songs, and I think I'm not doing good. I think I'm completely out of tune, and I turn around and there's like 50, 60 people standing behind me, sitting there clapping, and I'm like, hey, so once we get into a house, I am going to get a drum set again. So, but yeah. Some other thing, I'm trying to figure out some other things. I don't know if this, but I had an accident when I was about 24, 25. I fell off a roof, landed on my back, all messed up. I had, pretty much learn how to walk again. I mean, like, no feeling from the waist down for a while there. It was bad situation. That's why I have so many back problems. Because of that situation, and it's going to be like that until the day I die, probably. So it's just the way it is. But that's about it. I didn't want to get too involved in all sorts of stuff. I just figured I'd kind of tell you guys some of the stuff that I've done or been involved with, with being a parent, because I've seen some comments that are saying, oh, you guys will be good parents. I think Shelly's going to be an awesome parent. Because she always tells me, you don't know. I do know. A parent knows when another person is going to be a good parent, because she has that love, that it's kind of hard to describe. You guys know. You can see her. You know how she's going to be. She is going to be a great mom. And that's one thing. That's one thing that I'm really happy about, is I found somebody that when, she always sits there and goes, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. You know. It's going to be hard because I had to do it all myself. I was mom and dad. I had to do it all myself. But like I tell her, it's so much easier when you have that other person in the household. When you have that mother and the father there, it's so much easier than when you have one person trying to do both. And when I have her, and she's going to be a great mom, like I've been saying, and she's just got so much love, and she's going to show the baby so much affection and love, and it's just, I can't wait. I can't wait to see her be the way she's going to be. Yeah, she's going to be something else. Because I like to tell her, I said, I can see it. I can see it. So, you will see it too, I say, excuse me, sometime next year, she's going to be, she's probably like yelling at me right now, going, oh my God, stop it. But that's another thing. I keep telling her, I'm not getting any younger. I'm 44 years old, and I don't want to be an old man. And I'm not saying I am, but I'm just saying I don't want to be one of those guys that are 55, 60 years old, and I have a 6-year-old running around. I just don't want that. So, and then we're talking about having 2 children. So, it's gonna, you know, like I told her, I said, you know, next year is gonna be our year. We're gonna have to start this family. So you guys will be up for a lot of what she calls shenanigans. So I hope you guys are, because there's going to be a lot of craziness. But I have got to get going. I have some things I have to go do. And I got to call Shelly and see how her day in Cancun was. My day was 35 degrees and chilly. So we're going to see how her day was. So I appreciate you guys clicking and clicking in and watching the video, and I guess you will see a bunch of Shelly's videos coming up from her in Cancun, her and her mom. She's got like 3 videos she's going to be putting out. I think it's like every other day she's going to be putting one out. So we got those coming up, and we are going to take some video. I'm going to get some video of the kids on Christmas, and that should be a blast. That's going to be funny. So be ready for the kids. Be ready for the little ones. And I will see you later. Bye.